the webinar. And now I guess it is live streaming. Hi, I'm Paul Sugarman, and this is the Instant Shakespeare Company. And today we are going to be doing a reading of The Tragedy of Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. My name's Paul Sugarman, and I will be reading Julius Caesar, Caius Ligarius, and the First Plebeian. And Andrew.
Hi, my name is Andrew Parks, and I'll be playing Marcus Brutus.
And Shelia.
My name is Shelia Spencer. I'll be playing a cobbler, a soothsayer, Lucius, Decius Brutus, and Octavius Caesar.
Okay, and Eleanor.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Elizabeth Foreman. I'm going to be playing Flavius, Metellus Cimber, Trebonius, Artemidorus, Second Plebeian, Lepidus, Claudio, and Clitus.
All right, and Bernie.
Hi, I'm Bernie Kramer. I will be playing Mark Antony.
And Kitty.
Hi, Kitty Chen. I'm reading Casca and Masala.
And Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Finger. I will be reading Calpurnia, the Fourth Plebeian, a Servant, and Lucullus.
Okay, and Michael. And
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm playing General Senator Roman Father Warrior Cassius.
all right, and Maciel.
Hi, my name is Maciel. I'll be reading for Mireles, Cinna the poet, Pindarus, first soldier, and poet.
All right, and Olivia.
Hi, I'm Olivia Braza, and I will be reading Cicero, Portia, third plebeian, Titinius, Varus, and Dardanius.
That's right, and thank you, and I think that's everybody. Did I miss anybody? I sort of figured now I'll do it the smart way. I'll just go down the list, and that way I'll get everybody in order, and then the list reorders while you're doing it. So,
I'm sorry, I missed who's playing Portia?
Olivia.
Yay.
So I think the stage directions are generally sort of helpful in this one, so I'm going to read most of them. And so anyways, the idea of the Instant Shakespeare Company is Shakespeare for everyone. So let's just have fun with the text and see where it takes us. And just as a reminder, when you're in the scene, you have your camera on and your your audio on, and then mute them and turn them off when you're not in the scene. All right, actus primus, scena prima. Enter Flavius, Morellus, and certain commoners over the stage.
Hence, home you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? What, know you not, being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? Speak, what trade art
Why, sir, a carpenter.
Where is thy leather apron and thy rule? What dost thou with thy best apparel on? You, sir, what trade are you?
Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am, but as you would say, a cobbler.
But what trade art thou? Answer me directly.
A trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls.
What trade, thou knave, thou naughty knave? What trade?
Nay, I beseech you, sir, be not out with me yet. If you can be out, sir, I can mend you.
What meanst thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow?
Why, sir, cobble you?
Thou art a cobbler, art thou?
Truly, sir, all that I live by is with thee all. I meddle with no tradesmen matters, nor women's matters, but withal I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. When they are in great danger, I recover them. A proper man as ever trod upon neat's leather have gone up on my handiwork.
But wherefore art thou not in thy shop today? Why dost thou lead these men about the streets?
Truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holy day to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
Wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome? To grace in captive bonds his chariot wheels. You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. Oh, you hard hearts, you cruel men of Rome. Cruel men of Rome, knew you not Pompey many a time and oft? Have you climbed up to wales and battlements, to towers and windows? Yeah, to chimney tops? Your infants in your arms, and there have sat the live long day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome, and when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made an universal shout? That timber trembled underneath her banks to hear the replication of your sound made in her concave shores? And do you now put on your best attire? And do you now call out a holy day? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Begone, run to your house, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on this ingratitude.
Go, go, good countrymen, and for this fault, assemble all the poor men of your sort, draw them to Tiber banks, and weep your tears into the channel, till the lowest stream to kiss the most exalted shores of all.
Exeunt all the commoners.
See where their basest metal be not moved. They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Go you down that way towards the Capitol. This way will I. Disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies.
May we do so? You know it's the feast of Lupercal.
It is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. So do you too, where you perceive them thick. Those growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness?
Exeunt. Enter Caesar, Antony for the course, Calpurnia, Portia, Decius, Cicero, Brutus, Cassius, Casca, a soothsayer. After them, Morellus and Flavius. Calpurnia.
Peace ho, Caesar speaks.
Calpurnia.
Here, my lord.
Stand you directly in Antonio's way when he doth run his course. Antonio. Antonio? Antonio. Bernie, are you there? All right, well, stand you directly in Antonio's way when he doth run his course. Antonio, he'll probably say something like, Caesar, my lord. Forget not in your speed, Antonio, to touch Calpurnia, for our elders say, the barren touched in this holy chase shake off their sterile curse.
I shall remember when Caesar says, do this, it is performed.
Sit on, and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar.
Ah, who calls?
Bid every noise be still. Peace yet again.
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music cry, Caesar, speak. Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Well, set him before me. Let me see his face.
Fellow, come from the throng. Look upon Caesar.
What sayest thou to me now? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass. Senate, exeunt Manet, Brutus, and Cassius.
Will you go see the order of the course?
Not I.
I pray you do.
I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony. Let us not hinder, Cassius, your desires. I'll leave you.
Brutus, I do observe you now of late. I have not from your eyes that gentleness and show of love as I was wont to have. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you.
Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late, with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil perhaps to my behaviors. But let not therefore my good friends be grieved, among which number, Cassius, be you one, nor construe any further my neglect than that poor Brutus with himself at war forgets the shows of love to other men.
And Brutus, I have much mistook your passion by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself but by reflection, by some other things.
'Tis just, and it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your own eye, that you might see your shadow. I have heard where many of the best respect in Rome, except immortal Caesar, speaking of Brutus and groaning underneath this age's yoke, have wished that noble Brutus had his eyes.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? Though you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me.
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you know yet not know of. And be not jealous on me, gentle Brutus, for I a common laughter did use to stale with ordinary oaths my love to every new protester. If you knew that I do fawn on men and hug them hard and after scandal them, or if you know that I profess myself in banqueting to all the rout, then hold me dangerous.
Hail Caesar!
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye. Do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so?
I would not, Cassius, yet I love him well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death of the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For let the gods so speed me as I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as lief not be as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Durst thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow, so indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive at point purpose, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I the tired Caesar. Of this man is now become a god. And Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body if Caesar carelessly but not on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. His coward lips did from their color fly. And that same eye, whose bend does awe the world, does lose his luster. That I did hear him groan, aye, and that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him and write his speeches in their books. Alas, it cried, give me some drink, Titinius, as a sick little girl. And God, it doth amaze me a man of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone.
Hail Caesar! Hail!
Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Oh, why, man, he does bestride the narrow world like a colossus. And we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep out to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men that sometimes are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them, Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the name of gods at once, upon what meat does this our Caesar feed, that he is grown so great?
Springer is off.
Age, thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When went there by an age since the great flood, but was it Spain with more than with one man? What could they say till now that talked of Rome? There her wide walks encompassed but one man. Now is it Rome indeed, and room enough when there is but one man only. You and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
That you do love me, I am nothing jealous. What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this, and of these times, I shall recount hereafter. For this present I would not. So, with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have said I will consider. What you have to say I will with patience hear, and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions, as this time is like to lay upon us.
I'm glad that my weak words have struck but this much show of fire from Brutus.
Enter Caesar and his train.
The games are done, and Caesar is returning.
As they pass by, pluck Casca by the sleeve, and he will, after his sour fashion, tell you what hath preceded worthy note today.
I will do so. But look you, Cassius. The angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, and all the rest look like a chidden train. Calpurnia's cheek is pale, and Cicero looks with such ferret and such fiery eyes as we have seen him in the Capitol, being crossed in conference by some senators.
Casca will tell us what the matter is.
Antonio. Caesar. Let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men, and such as sleep o' nights. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous. Fear him not, Caesar.
Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He is a noble Roman and well given. Well,
would he were fatter, but I fear him not. Yet if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should avoid so soon as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit, that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. Come on my right hand, for this ear is deaf, and tell me truly what thou thinkst of him. Senate, exit Caesar and his train.
Hold me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Casca. Tell us what hath chanced today that Caesar looks so sad.
Why, you are with him, were you not?
I should not then ask Casca what had chanced.
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand thus, and then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
He shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
I marry was it, and he put it by thrice, every time gentler than another. And at every putting by, mine honest neighbors shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I can as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, yet 'twas not a crown either. 'Twas one of those coronets. And as I told you, he put it by once. But for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again. Then he put it by again. But to my thinking, he was very loath to lay his fingers off it. And then he offered the third time. He put it the third time by, and still as he refused it, the rabblement howled and clapped their chopped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that it had almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
Well, soft, I pray you. What? Did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in the marketplace and foamed at mouth and was speechless.
'Tis very like. He hath the falling sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not. But you and I and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down. If the Tagrag people did not clap him and hiss him according as he pleased and displeased them as they used to do the players in the theater, I am no true man.
What said he when he came unto himself?
Marry, before he fell down, when he perceived the common herd was glad he refused the crown, he plucked me up his doublet and offered them his throat to cut. And I had been a man of any occupation, if I would not have taken him at a word, I might go to hell among the rogues. And so he fell. When he came to himself again, he said, if he had done or said anything amiss, he desired their worships to think it was his infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches where I stood cried, alas, good soul, and forgave him with all their hearts. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mothers, they would have done no less.
And after that he came thus sad away.
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye, he spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Nay, and I tell you that I'll ne'er look you in the face again. But those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads. but for mine own part it was Greek to me. I could tell you more news too. Morellus and Flavius, for pulling scarves off Caesar's images, are put to silence. Fare you well. There was more foolery yet, if I could remember it.
Will you sup with me tonight, Casca?
No, I am promised forth.
You dine with me tomorrow.
Aye, if I be alive, and your mind hold, and your dinner worth the eating.
Good. I will expect you.
Do so. Farewell you both.
Exit.
What a blunt fellow is this grown to be? He was quick mettle when he went to school.
So is he now, in execution of any bold or noble enterprise. However he puts on this tardy form, this rudeness is a sauce to his good wit, which gives men stomach to digest his words with better appetite.
And so it is. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will come home to you. Or if you will, come home to me, and I will wait for you.
I will do so. Till then, think of the world.
Exit Brutus.
Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Therefore it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now, and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. I will this night at several hands in at his window throw, as if they came from all several citizens, writings all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name. Wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him, or worse days will endure.
Exit. Thunder and lightning enter Casca and Cicero.
Good even, Casca. Is her home? Why are you breathless? And why stare you so?
Are not you moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Oh, Cicero, I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with the threatening clouds. But never till tonight, never till now, did I go through a tempest-dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Why, saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. Besides, I have not since put up my sword against the Capitol. I met a lion who gazed upon me and went surly by without annoying me. And there were drawn upon a heap 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who swore they saw men all in fire walk up and down the streets. And yesterday the bird of night did sit even at noonday upon the marketplace, howling and shrieking. When these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say these are their reasons. They are natural. For I believe they are portentous things unto the climate that they point upon.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time. But men may construe things after their fashion, clean from the purpose of the things themselves. Comes Caesar to the Capitol tomorrow?
He doth, for he did bid Antonio send word to you he would be there tomorrow.
Good night then, Casca. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Farewell, Cicero.
Exit Cicero. Enter Cassius.
Who's there?
A Roman.
Casca by your voice.
Your ear is good.
Ugh,
Night is this?
a very pleasing night to honest men.
Who ever knew the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets, submitting me unto the perilous night, and thus embraced, Casca, as you see, have bared my bosom to this thunderstone. And when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods by tokens send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, Casca, and those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want, or else you use not. You look pale, gaze put on fear, cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you consider the true cause, why all these fires? Why all these gliding ghosts? Why birds and beasts from quality and kind? Why old men, fools, and children calculate? Why all these things change from their ordinance, their natures and preformed faculties to monstrous quality? Well, you shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now, could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars at us the lion in the Capitol? Man no mightier than thyself or me in personal action, yet prodigious grown and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is. The Romans now have thews and limbs like to their ancestors, but all the while our fathers' minds are dead, and we are governed with our mother's spirits. Our yoke and sufferance show us womanish.
Indeed, they say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king, and he shall wear his crown by sea and land and every place save here in Italy.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. There, ye gods, you will make the weak most strong. There, ye gods, you tyrants to defeat. Nor stony tower, nor walls of beaten brass, nor airless dungeons, nor long strings of iron can be retentive to the strength of spirit. For life, being wary of these worldly bars, never lacks power to dismiss itself. If I know this, know all the world besides that part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off the pleasure.
Thunder still.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. He were no lion, were not Romans, hinds. Those that with haste will make a mighty fire begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what a fall when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar? But, grief, where's thou led me? I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman, then I know my answer must be made. But I am armed. Dangers are to me indifferent.
You speak to Casca, and to such a man that is no fleering telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes furthest.
There's a bargain made. Now, know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence. And I do know by this they stay for me in Pompey porch. For now this fearful night there is no stir walking in the streets, and the complexion of the element is favors like the work we have in hand. Most bloody, fiery, and most terrible.
Enter Cinna.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
It's just Cinna. I do know him by his gait. He is a friend. Cinna, where haste you so?
To find out you. Who's that? Metallus Cyber?
No, it's Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I stayed for Cinna?
I am glad on it. What a fearful night is this. There's 2 or 3 of us here. There's 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Am I not stayed for? Tell me.
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content. Good Cinna, take this paper, and look you, lay it in the praetor's chair where Brutus may but find it, and throw this in at his window, and set this up with wax upon old Brutus' statue. All this done, repair to Pompey porch, where you shall find us. Is Decius Brutus and Trebonius there?
All but Metellus Cyber, and he's gone to seek you at your house. Well, I will hie, and so bestow these papers as you bade me.
All right, that done, repair to Pompey's theater.
Exit Cinna.
Come, Casca, you and I will ere day the see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yield him ours.
Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
Him and his worth, and our great need of him. He have right well conceded. Yeah, let us go. For it is after midnight, and ere day we will awake him and be sure of him.
Exeunt. Actus Secundus. Enter Brutus in his orchard.
What, Lucius, ho! I cannot, by the progress of the stars, give guess how near today. Lucius, I say! I would it were my fault to sleep so soundly. When, Lucius, when? Awake, I say! What, Lucius?
Enter Lucius.
Call you, my lord?
Get me a taper in my study, Lucius. When it is lighted, come and call me here.
I will, my lord.
It must be by his death. And for my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him but for the general. He would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. It is the bright day that brings forth the adder, and that craves wary walking. Crown him that, and then I grant we put a sting in him, that at his will he may do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power. And to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his affection swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, then lest he may prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is augmented would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which hatched would as his kind grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
Enter Lucius.
The taper burneth in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found this paper thus sealed up, and I'm sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Gives him the letter.
Get you to bed again. It is not day. Is not tomorrow, boy, the 1st of March?
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
Exit.
The exhalations whizzing in the air. Give so much light so I may read this.
Opens the letter and reads.
Brutus, thou sleepest. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc. Speak, strike, redress. Brutus, Thou sleepest. Awake. Such instigations have oft been dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome? Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? O Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Enter Lucius.
Sir, March has wasted 15 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate, somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did whet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Enter Lucius.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with them.
Do you know them?
No, sir, their hats are plucked about their ears, and half their faces buried in their cloaks, that by no means I may discover them by any mark of favor.
Let him enter. They are the faction. O conspiracy! Shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night when evils are most free? O then by day where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability, for if thou pat thy native semblance on, not Erebus itself would dim enough to hide thee from prevention.
Enter the conspirators, Cassius, Casca, Decius, Cinna, Metellus, and Trebonius.
I think we are too bold upon your arrest. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them. And no man here but honors you, and everyone doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself, which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Trebonius.
He is welcome hither.
This is Decius Brutus.
He is welcome too.
This Casca, this Senna, and this Metellus Cimber.
They are all welcome. What watchful cares do interpose themselves betwixt your eyes and night?
Shall I entreat a word?
They whisper.
Here lies the east. Doth not the day break here?
No.
Oh, pardon, sir, it doth. And yon gray lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day.
You shall confess that you are both deceived. Here, as I point my sword, the sun arises, which is a great wave growing on the south, weighing the youthful season of the year. Some 2 months hence, up higher toward the north, he first presents his fire, and the high east stands as the capital, directly here.
Give me your hands all over, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. If not the face of men, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse, if these be motives weak, break off betimes, and every man hence to his idle bed. So let high-sided tyranny rage on, till each man drop by lottery. But if these, as I am sure they do, bear fire enough to kindle cowards, and to steal with valor the melting spirits of women, then, countrymen, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not falter? And what other oath than honesty, to honesty engaged that this shall be, or we will fall for it? Ah, swear, priests and cowards and men cautelous, old feeble carrions and such suffering souls that welcome wrongs. Unto bad causes swear such creatures as men doubt, but do not stain the virtue of our enterprise. nor the insuppressive mettle of our spirits, to think that or our cause or our performance did need an oath. When every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy, if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
What of Cicero? Shall we sound him? I think he will stand with us, very strong with us.
Let us not leave him out.
No. Cinna?
No, by no means.
Oh, let us have him, for his silver hairs will purchase us a good opinion, and by men's voices to commend our deeds. It shall be said, his judgment ruled our hands. Our youths and wildness shall no whit appear, but all be buried in his gravity.
Oh, name him not. Let us not break with him, for he will never follow anything that other men begin.
Then leave him out.
Indeed, he is not fit.
Shall no man else be touched but only Caesar?
Decius, well urged. I think it is not meet Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find in him a shrewd contriver, and you know his means, if he improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all, which to prevent let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs, like wrath in death and envy afterwards. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar, and in the spirit of men there is no blood. Oh, that we then could come by Caesar's spirit and not dismember Caesar. But alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And gentle friends, let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. And let our hearts, as subtle masters do, stir up their servants to an act of rage, and after seem to chide them? No. This shall make our purpose necessary, and not envious, which so appearing to the common eyes, we shall be called purgers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yeah, yet I fear him, for in that engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he loves Caesar, all that he can do is to himself. Take thought and die for Caesar, and that were much he should. For he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter.
Peace. Count the clock.
Clock has struck 3.
'Tis time to part.
It is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for he is superstitious grown of late. Quite from the main opinion he held once of fantasy of dreams and ceremonies. It may be these apparent prodigies, the unaccustomed terror of the night, and the persuasion of his augurers may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him. For he loves to hear that unicorns may be betrayed with trees, and bears with glasses, elephants with holes, lions with toils, and men with flatterers. But when I tell him he hates flatterers, he says he does, being then most flattered. Let me work, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch him.
By the 8th hour, is that the uttermost?
Be that the uttermost, and fail not then.
Caius Ligarius doth bear Caesar hard, who rated him for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of him.
Now, good Metellus, go along by him. He loves me well, and I have given him reasons. Send him but hither, and I'll fashion him.
This morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus, and friends, disperse yourselves. But all remember what you have said and show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so good morrow to you, every one.
Exeunt mene Brutus.
Boy, Lucius! Fast asleep? It is no matter. Enjoy the honey-heavy dew of slumber. Thou hast no figures, nor no fantasies, which busy care draws in the brains of men. Therefore thou sleepest so sound.
Enter Portia.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning.
Nor for yours neither. You have urgently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, then you scratched your head and too impatiently stamped with your foot. Yet I insisted, yet you answered not, but with an angry wafter of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled, and withal hoping it was but an effect of humor, which sometime hath his hour with every man. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. And could it work so much upon your shape as it hath prevailed on your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with the cause of your grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dark morning? What is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night, and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto hit sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you by my once commended beauty, with all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself. Your half, why are you heavy? And what might tonight have had resort unto you? For here have been some 6 or 7 so who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need, if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, as it were in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure, if it be no more, Portia is Brutus's harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then should I know this secret, I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husband? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy. Give me self a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience, and not my husband's secrets?
Oh, ye gods! Render me worthy of this noble wife.
Knock.
Hark, hark, one knocks. Portia, go in a while, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee, all the charactery of my sad brows. Leave me with haste.
Exit Portia. Enter Lucius and Ligarius.
Lucius, who's that knocks?
Here is a sick man that would speak with you.
Caius Ligarius, that Metellus spake of. Boy, stand aside. Caius Ligarius, how?
Vouchsafe good morrow from a feeble tongue.
Oh, what a time have you chose out, brave Caius, to wear a kerchief. Would you were not sick.
I am not sick, if Brutus have in hand any exploit worthy the name of honor.
Such an exploit have I in hand, Ligarius, had you a healthful ear to hear of it.
By all the gods that Romans bow before, I here discard my sickness. Soul of Rome, brave son derived from honorable loins, thou, like an exorcist, hast conjured up my mortified spirit. Now bid me run, and I will strive with things impossible. Yea, get the better of them. What's to do?
A piece of work that will make sick men whole.
But are not some whole that we must make sick?
That must we also. What it is, my Caius, I shall unfold to thee as we are going, to whom it must be done.
Set on your foot, and with a heart new fired I follow you, to do I know not what, but it sufficeth that Brutus leads me on.
Follow me then.
Thunder, exeunt. Thunder and lightning. Enter Julius Caesar in his nightgown. Nor heaven nor earth hath been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia in her sleep cried out, Help ho, they murder Caesar. Who's within?
My lord?
Go bid the priests do present sacrifice and bring me the opinion of success.
I will, my lord.
Exit. Enter Calpurnia.
What think you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threaten me ne'er looked but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, and now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fight upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons, and right form of war, which drizzle blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air. Horses do neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use. I do fear them.
What can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders that I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. Enter a servant. What say the augurers?
They would not have you to stir forth today. Plucking the entrails of an offering forth, they could not find a heart within the beast.
The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart if he should stay at home today for fear. No, Caesar shall not. Danger knows full well that Caesar is more dangerous than he. We were two lions littered in one day, and I the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth.
Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house, and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate House, and he shall say you are not well today. Let me, upon my knee, prevail on this.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. Enter Decius Brutus. Well, here's Decius Brutus, he shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Decius.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched mine arm so far to be feared to tell graybeards the truth? Decius, go tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt... Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight. She saw my statue, which like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood, and many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent. And on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision, fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes in which so many smiling Romans bathed signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
I have, when you have heard what I can say, and know it now. The Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. And besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for some one to say, break up the Senate till another time. When Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams, if Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for my dear, dear love to your proceedings bids me tell you, and reason to my love is liable.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia? I am ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. Enter Brutus, Ligarius, Metellus, Casca, Trebonius, Cinna, and Publius. And look where Publius has come to fetch me.
Good morrow, Caesar.
Welcome, Publius. What, Brutus, are you stirred so eagerly too? Good morning, Casca, Caius Ligarius. Caesar was ne'er so much your enemy as that same ague which hath made you lean. What is the clock?
Caesar, 'tis struck an 8.
I thank you for your pains and courtesy. Enter Antony. Enter Antony. Antony, are you there?
I am.
See, Antony, that revels long o' nights is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony.
So,
Most noble Caesar.
noble Caesar.
Bid them prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. Now Cinna, now Metellus, what Trebonius? I have an hour's talk in store for you. Remember that you call on me today. Be near me that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that you're best friends. I wish I had been further.
Good friends, go in and taste some wine with me, and we, like friends, will straightway go together.
That every like is not the same, O Caesar. The heart of Brutus earns to think upon.
Exeunt. Enter Artemidorus.
Caesar, beware of Brutus. Take heed of Cassius. Come not near Casca. Have an eye to Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Kimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. Thy lover, Artemidorus. Here will I stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor I will give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
Exit. Enter Portia and Lucius.
I prithee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. What dost thou say?
To know my errand, madam.
I would have had thee there, and here again, ere I can tell thee what thou shouldst do there. Oh, constancy, be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard it is for women to keep counsel, and thou here yet?
Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else? And so return to you and nothing else?
Yes, bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well, for he went sickly forth. And take good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy, what noise is that?
I hear none, madam.
Prithee, listen well. I heard a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital.
Sooth, madam, I hear nothing.
Enter the soothsayer.
Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been?
At mine own house, good lady.
What is the clock?
About the 9th hour, lady.
Is Caesar yet gone to the capital?
Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the capital.
Thou hast some sweet to Caesar, hast thou not?
That I have, lady, if it will please Caesar to be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself.
Why, knowst thou any harms intended towards him?
None that I know will be, much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at the heels of senators, of praetors, common suitors, will crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along.
Exit.
He must go in. Ah, me, how weak a thing the heart of a woman is. Oh, Brutus, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure the boy heard me. Brutus hath the sweet that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say I am merry. Come to me again, and bring me word what he doth say to thee.
Exeunt. Actus Tertius. Flourish. Enter Caesar, Brutus, Cassius, Casca, Decius, Metellus, Trebonius, Cinna, Antony, Lepidus, Artemidorus, Publius, and the soothsayer. The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Hail, Caesar! Read this schedule.
Trebonius doth desire you to o'erread at your best leisure this his humble suit.
Oh, Caesar, read mine first, for mine's a suit that touches Caesar nearer. Read it, great Caesar.
What touches us ourselves shall be last served.
You like not, Caesar. Read it instantly.
What, is the fellow mad?
Sirrah, give place.
Urge your petitions on the street. Come to the Capitol.
I wish your enterprise today may thrive.
What enterprise, Populus?
Fare you well.
What said Popilius Lena?
He wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered.
Look how he makes to Caesar. Mark him.
Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself.
Cassius, be constant. Popilius Lena speaks not of our purposes, for look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change.
Trebonius knows his time, for look, Brutus, he draws Mark Antony out of the way.
Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar.
He is addressed. Press near and second him.
Casca, you are the first that rears your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber, throws before thy seat a humble heart.
I must prevent thee, Cimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first degree into the lane of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that he will be thawed from the true quality with that which melteth fools. I mean, sweet words, low crooked courtesies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than mine own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus?
Pardon, Caesar. Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber.
I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers should move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine, but there's but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one, that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked of motion, and that I am he. Let me little show it even in this, that I was constant Cimber should be banished, and constant to remain to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar.
Hence, Wilt thou lift up Olympus?
Great Caesar.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Speak hands for me.
They stab Caesar. Ah, they too, Brute? Then fall, Caesar.
Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead. Run hence, proclaim, cry it about the streets.
Come to the common pulpits and cry out, liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement.
People and senators, be not affrighted. Fly not. Stand still. Ambition's debt is paid.
Go to the pulpit, Brutus.
And Cassius, too.
Where's Publius?
Here, quite confounded with this mutiny.
Stand fast together, lest some friends of Caesar's should chance.
Talk not of standing. Publius, good cheer. There is no harm intended to your person, nor to no Roman else. So tell them, Publius.
And leave us, Publius, lest that's the people rushing on us should do your age some mischief.
Do so, and let no man abide this deed but we, the doers.
Enter Trebonius.
Where is Antony?
Fled to his house amazed. Men, wives, and children stare, cry out, and run as if it were doomsday.
Fates, we will know your pleasures. That we shall die we know, but 'tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why, he that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
Grant that, and then is death a benefit. So are we Caesar's friends that have abridged his time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows, and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and wave our red weapons o'er our heads. Let's all cry peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop them and wash. How many ages hence shall this lofty scene be acted over in state unborn, accents yet unknown?
How many times shall Caesar bleed in sport, that now, on Pompey's basis lie all along, no worthier than the dust?
So oft as that shall be, so oft shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What, shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Enter a servant.
Soft. Who comes here? A friend of Antony's.
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down. And being prostrate, thus he bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say, I love Brutus, and I honor him. Say, I feared Caesar, honored him, and loved him. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him, and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Mark Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
Thy master is a wise and valiant Roman. I never thought him worse. Tell him, so please him come unto this place, he shall be satisfied, and by my honor, depart untouched.
I'll fetch him presently.
Exit servant.
I know that we shall have him well to friend.
I wish we may. But yet I have a mind that fears him much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose.
Enter Antony.
But here comes Antony. Welcome, Mark Antony.
Antony, are you there? And could you start your picture and sound, please?
Oh, oops. Oh, mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself? There is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech ye, if ye bear me hard now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke, fulfill your pleasure. Live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place will please me so, no mean of death, as here by Caesar and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age.
O Antony, beg not your death of us. Though now we must appear bloody and cruel as by our hands, as this our present act you see we do. Yet see you but our hands, and this the bleeding business they have done. Our hearts you see not, they are pityful, and pity to the general wrong of Rome, as fire drives out fire, so pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you, our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony, our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brother's temper do receive you in with all kind love, good thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient, till we have appeased the multitude, beside themselves with fear. And then we will deliver you the cause why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus will I shake with you. Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand. Now, Decius Brutus, yours. Now yours, Metellus. Yours, Cinna. And my valiant Casca, yours. Though last not least in love, yours, good Trebonius. Gentlemen, all. Alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar, oh, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes? Most noble, in the presence of thy corse, had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Pardon me, Julius. Here wast thou bade, brave heart. Here didst thou fall, and here thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy lethe. O world, thou wast the forest to this heart, and this indeed, O world, the heart of thee. How like a deer, stricken by many princes, dost thou here lie.
Mark Antony.
Pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar shall say this. Then in a friend it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so, but what compact means you to have with us? Will you be picked in number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Therefore I took your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends am I with you all, and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else were this a savage spectacle. Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I seek, and am moreover suitor that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speaks at his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason of our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission, and that we are contented, Caesar shall have all true rites and lawful ceremonies. It shall advantage more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, here take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your farewell speech blame us, but speak all good you can devise of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission. Or shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral? And you shall speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going after my speech is ended.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Exeunt, Mene Antony.
Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood! Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice in utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar, that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war, all pity choked with custom of fell deeds. And Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with Ate by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines with a monarch's voice cry Alec, and let slip the dogs of war, that this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial.
Enter Octavius's servant. Antony, that's your line. You serve.
Oh, you serve Octavius Caesar, do you not?
I do, Mark Antony.
Caesar did right for him to come to Rome.
He did receive his letters and is coming. And bid me say to you by word of mouth, O Caesar!
Thy heart is big. Get thee apart and weep. Passion I see is catching, for mine eyes, seeing those beads of sorrow stand in thine, began to water. Is thy master coming?
He lies tonight within 7 leagues of Rome.
Post back with speed, and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius yet. Hie hence and tell him so. Yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this course into the marketplace. There shall I try in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which thou shalt discourse to young Octavius of the state of things. Lend me your hand.
Exeunt. Enter Brutus and goes into the pulpit, and Cassius with the plebeians. We will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied.
Then follow me, and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into the other street and part the numbers. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him. And public reason shall be rendered of Caesar's death.
I will hear Brutus speak.
I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons.
The noble Brutus is
But
ascended.
severally.
The noble Brutus is ascended. Silence.
Be patient till the last. Romans, countrymen and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor, that you may believe. Censure me in your wisdom, and awake your senses, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus' love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply.
None, Brutus.
None, Brutus, none.
None.
Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol, his glory not extenuated wherein he was worthy, nor his offenses enforced for which he suffered death.
Enter Mark Antony with Caesar's body.
Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live,
Brutus,
live.
live. Bring him with triumph home unto his house.
Give him a statue with his ancestors.
Let him be Caesar.
Caesar's better parts shall be crowned in Brutus.
We'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamors.
My countrymen,
Peace, silence. Brutus speaks.
Peace, ho.
good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do entreat you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke.
Exit. Stay, ho, and let us hear Mark Antony.
Let him go up into the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up.
For Brutus' sake, I am beholding to you.
What does he say of Brutus?
He says for Brutus's sake, he finds himself beholding to us all.
Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here.
This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that's certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of him.
Peace. Let us hear what Antony can say.
You gentle Romans,
Peace,
Peace,
ho,
ho,
let us hear him.
Let's hear him.
friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious. And sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? O judgment! Thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
He has he, masters? I fear there will a worse come in his place.
Mark ye his words? He will not take the crown, therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dare abide it.
Poor soul, his eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now mark him, he begins again to speak.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read, and they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds, and dip their napkins in his sacred blood, yea, beg a hair of him for memory, and dying mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
The will.
We will hear Caesar's will.
Patience.
We will hear their will.
I must not read it. It is not meet you know how Caesar loved you. You are not wood, you are not stones, but men. And being men, hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. 'Tis good you know not that you are his heirs, or if you should, oh, what would come of it?
Read the will. We'll hear it, Antony. You shall read us the will, Caesar's will.
Will you be patient? Will you stay a while? I have o'ershot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men.
The
will.
The
testament.
They were villains, murderers. The will. Read the will.
You will compel me then to read the will? Then make a ring about the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you him that made the will. Shall I descend, and will you give me leave?
Come down.
Come down.
You
It's
shall have
ready.
leave.
A ring. Stand round.
Stand from the hearse, stand from the body.
Room for Antony, most noble Antony.
Nay, press not so upon me. stand far off.
Stand
Stand
back.
back.
Room, bear back.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. 'Twas on a summer's evening in his tent, that day he overcame the Nervii. Look, in this place ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as rushing out of doors to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, O you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw him stab, ingratitude, more strong than traitor's arms, quite vanquished him. Then burst his mighty heart, and in his mantle muffling up his face, even at the base of Pompey's statue, which all the while ran blood, great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen! Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, now you weep, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops. Kind souls, what weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here. Here is himself, marred as you see, with traitors.
Oh, piteous spectacle.
Oh, noble Caesar.
Oh, woeful day.
Oh, traitors, villains!
Almost bloody sight.
We will be revenged. Revenge about, seek, burn, fire, kill, slay. Let not a traitor live.
Stay, countrymen.
Peace there. Hear the noble Antony.
We'll hear him. We'll follow him. We'll die with him.
Good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honourable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not, that made them do it. They are wise and honourable, and will, no doubt, with reasons answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator, as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man that love my friend, and that they know full well that gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit nor words, nor worth action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. Show you sweet Caesar's wounds. Poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny.
We'll mutiny.
We'll mutiny.
We'll burn the house of Brutus.
Away then, come, seek the conspirators.
Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak.
Peace hold.
Peace
Hold
hold.
here,
Here,
Antony, most
Antony,
noble
most
Antony.
noble
Noble
Antony.
Why, friends, you go to do you know not what? Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then. You have forgot the will I told you of.
Most
True, the will.
Let's stay and hear the will.
Stay and hear the will.
Is the will and under Caesar's seal? To every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar will revenge his death. Oh, royal Caesar!
Hear me with patience.
Ho!
Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors, and new planted orchards on this side Tiber. He hath left them you and to your heirs forever. Common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never, never. Come, away, away. We'll burn his body in the holy place, and with the brand fire the traitors' houses. Take up the body.
Go fetch fire.
Pluck down benches.
Pluck down forms, windows, anything.
Exeunt plebeians.
Now let it work. Mischief, thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. Oh no, fellow.
Sure. Octavius has already come to Rome.
Where is he?
He and Lepidus are at Caesar's house.
And thither will I straight to visit him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will give us anything.
I heard him say, Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the gates of Rome.
Belike they had some notice of the people, how I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius.
Exeunt. Enter Cinna the poet, and after him the plebeians.
I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar, and things unluckily charge my fantasies. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something leads me forth.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Are you a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly.
Aye, and briefly.
Aye, and wisely.
Aye, and truly you were best.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Where do I dwell? Am I a married man or a bachelor? Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly. Wisely, I say, I am a bachelor.
It's much to say they are fools that marry. You'll bear me a bang for that, I fear. Proceed directly.
Directly, I am going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
That matter is answered directly.
Where you're dwelling? Briefly.
Briefly, I dwell by the Capitol.
Your name, sir, truly?
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces! He's a conspirator!
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet.
Tear him for his bad verses. Tear him for his bad verses.
I am not Cinna the conspirator.
It is no matter. His name's Cinna. Pluck but his name out of his heart and turn him going.
Tear him!
Tear
him! Humbrands, oh, firebrands to Brutus, to Cassius, burn all, some to Decius's house, and some to Casca's, some to Ligarius. Away, go!
Exeunt all the plebeians, and we will just take a very brief break here. Not even 5 minutes. We'll start again in 9:30. I just want to take a little, just a moment here. If anybody's got any questions or comments, I just think that this is, it's this is quite a play and quite a play to be doing today. Since this is the Ides of March.
I think it should be read by every politician.
I think it is read by every politician.
Out loud, and they could do Zoom readings together.
I do have a question, Paul, real quick.
Yeah.
I think I made a mistake. So I was very worried about, Soldier One, as I mentioned at the beginning. And the one that I was reading before, I thought you jumped in on that because I didn't catch on. So when I kept seeing one, I was like, oh my God, is that Soldier One? So that's why I took over. But was that you?
Yeah, well, it was the plebeian one, but it's fine. I mean, it's
oh my God, I'm so sorry.
so it's fine. No, that's
We're
fine.
probably like, what is
No
she
problem.
doing?
No, I realized that afterwards, and that is one of the things, and that is one of the things that we have with the folio is there are things where it isn't always entirely clear, especially with the prefixes, and especially with some of the sort of spelling things that you have. Sometimes you come across a thing like the Y with the two lines through it, which
Yeah.
is sort of like a printer's shorthand they used, which can be for the or that or them, and so you just sort of put in whichever one fits. And then also there's sort of stray E's at the end where you say, when I have a suit unto your lordship, and it looks like sweet, I have a suite unto your lordship. So those are some of the things that do pose a challenge with that. But I do think also that there are a lot of really great clues as well, especially like in Mark Antony's speech in the folio where it's like honorable. I mean, that is like capitalized. And the more you hit it, the more it's like, oh yeah, they're honorable. They're honorable. And it's like, no, we know they're not honorable. It's just such a great sort of convincing thing. And Mark Antony's saying, oh, well, I don't make great speeches. Not like Brutus,
Yeah, I also love how in the next scene, which we won't say too much about, but just he's like, oh yeah, remember that will thing? Screw that.
All right. There is no will.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
well, that's interesting.
but yeah, and so it is. It's quite. I remember my
horrible
wife
title,
was in a
really.
production of it that was done at the Actors Shakespeare Company, but a different Actors Shakespeare Company than the Actors Shakespeare Company that I worked with in Jersey City and New York City. But this was an Actors Shakespeare Company in Albany, New York, and they were doing it outdoors. And a huge storm came in on the night of the last performance of it. So you had, and it was built with these sort of scaffolding. So you had like Antony up on these scaffolding as the storm is coming in behind him with thunder and lightning. And so then they made it to intermission, and then it's like the rains came down. It's like, no, there's no way we're going to finish the show. So that was that was that. So that was one where I mean, Caesar died, but everybody else was still alive because they never got to do the rest of the play.
The
But
closing
also-
of, yeah.
and also that did just happen to be at the very time back in, this was way back a ways, in 1989 in Russia, when they basically the Soviet Union, when the Soviet Union really fell, when they tried to sort of arrest Gorbachev, and then everything kind of fell apart. So it was really wild to be doing that play, have it like that, and then at the very next day hearing all of this news about what was going on in Russia. Because also one of the lines there, how many ages hence shall this be acted out in accents unknown, And that was also something the director had sort of chosen at the beginning of the play to sort of have that as sort of a little choral thing at the beginning. So,
But Bogosian,
well.
the way.
yes. But anyways, so if anybody else has got anything, otherwise I think we should resume. Alrighty then. Actus Quartus. Enter Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus.
These many then shall die. Their names are pricked.
Cilia, Octavius. Okay. Your brother too must die. Consent you, Lepidus?
I do consent
Prick him down, Antony.
upon condition Publius shall not live. Who's your sister's son, Mark Antony?
He shall not live. Look with a spot, I damn him. But Lepidus, go you to Caesar's house, fetch the will hither, and we shall determine how to cut off some charge in legacies.
What, shall I find you here?
Or here, or at the Capitol.
Exit Lepidus.
This is a slight unmeritable man, meet to be sent on errands. Is it fit, the threefold world divided, he should stand one of the three to share it?
So you sought him and took his voice, who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and proscription.
Octavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we lay these honors on this man to ease ourselves of divers slanderous loads, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business, either led or driven as we point the way. And having brought our treasure where we will, then take we down his load and turn him off, like to the empty ass, to shake his ears and graze in commons.
You may do your will, but he's a tried and valiant soldier.
So is my horse, Octavius, and for that I do appoint him store of provender. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to wind, to stop, to run directly on, his corporal motion governed by my spirit. And in some taste is Lepidus, but so. He must be taught and trained, and bid go forth, a barren-spirited fellow, one that feeds on objects, arts, and imitations, which out of use installed by other men, begin his fashion. Do not talk of him but as a property. And now, Octavius, listen, great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Therefore let our alliance be combined. Our best friends made, our means stretched, and let us presently go sit in council, how covert matters may be best disclosed, and open perils surest answered.
Let us do so. If we are at the stake, and bade about with many enemies, and some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
Exeunt. Drum. Enter Brutus, Lucilius in the army. Titinius and Pindarus meet them.
Stand ho!
Give the word ho and stand.
What now, Lucilius? Is Cassius near?
He is at hand, and Pindarus has come to do you salutation from his master.
He greets me well. Your master, Pindarus, in his own charge or by ill officers, hath given me some worthy cause to wish things done, undone. But if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied.
I do not doubt, but that my noble master will appear such as he is, full of regard and honor.
He is not doubted. A word, Lucilius, how he received you, let me be resolved.
With courtesy and with respect enough, but not with such familiar instances, nor with such free and friendly conference as he hath used of old.
Thou hast described a hot friend cooling. Ever note, Lucilius, when love begins to sicken and decay, it useth an enforced ceremony. There are no tricks in plain and simple faith, but hollow men, like horses hot at hand, make gallant show and promise of their mettle. But when they should endure the bloody spur, they fall their crests, and like deceitful jades sink in the trial. Comes this army on?
They mean this night in Sardis to be quartered. The greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius.
Enter Cassius and his powers.
Hark, he has arrived. March gently on to meet him.
Stand ho!
Stand ho! Speak the word along!
Stand!
Stand.
Stand.
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemies? And if not so, how should I wrong a brother?
Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs. And when you do them...
Cassius, be content. Speak your grief softly. I do know you well. Before the eyes of both our armies here, which should perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Bid them move away. Then in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs, and I will give you audience.
And bid our commanders lead their charges off a little from this ground.
Lucilius, do you the like, and let no man come to our tent till we have done our conference. Let Lucius and Titinius guard our door.
Exeunt, Mane, Brutus, and Cassius.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardinians, were in my letters praying on his side because I knew this man was slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
In such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and march your offices for gold to undeservers.
I, an itching palm. You know that you are Brutus that speak this, or by the gods this speech were else your last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement!
Remember March, the Ides of March remember. Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab and not for justice? What, shall one of us, that struck the foremost man of all this world but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes, and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bay the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself. To hedge me in, I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
So too you are not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more, I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health, tempt me no further.
Away, slight man.
Is it possible?
Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash choler? Shall I be frighted when a madman stares?
Hush, gods! Ye gods, must I endure this?
For all this, I more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go show your slaves how choleric you are, and make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? By the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you. For from this day forth, I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter when you are waspish.
Is it come to this?
You say you are a better soldier. Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
You wrong me in every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I said an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better?
If you did, I cannot.
When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me.
Peace, peace. You durst not so have tempted him.
I durst not.
No.
What? Durst not temper him?
For your life you durst not.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts. Dash him to pieces.
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath ripped my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
A flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony and young Octavius, come! Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is aweary of the world, hated by one he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondsman, all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and conned by rote to cast into my teeth. Ah, could I weep my spirit from mine eyes? Here's my dagger. Here's my dagger, and here my naked breasts, within a heart dearer than Pluto's mine, richer than gold. If thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike as thou didst at Caesar. For I know when thou didst hate him worse, ye loved him better than ever thou lovest Cassius.
Sheath your dagger. Be angry when you will, it shall have scope. Do what you will, dishonor shall be humor. O Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much in force it shows a hasty spark and straight is cold again.
As Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexed him.
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
You confess so much. Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
Oh, Brutus.
What's the matter?
Have not you love enough to bear with me when the rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful?
Yes, Cassius. And from henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides and leave you so.
Enter a poet.
Let me go in to see the generals. There is some grudge between them. 'Tis not meet they be alone.
You shall not come to them.
Nothing but death shall stay me.
Now, what's the matter?
For shame, you generals, what do you mean? Love and be friends, as two such men should be. For I have seen more years, I'm sure, than ye.
How widely does this cynic rhyme?
Get you hence, sirrah, saucy fellow, hence.
Bear with him, Brutus. This is fashion.
I'll know his humor when he knows his time. What should the wars do with these jigging fools? Companion, hence!
Away! Away! Be gone!
He's a poet.
Lucilius and Titinius, bid the commanders prepare to lodge their companies tonight.
Yeah, and come yourselves and bring Messala with you immediately to us.
Lucius, a bowl of wine.
I did not think you could have been so angry.
O Cassius, I am sick of many griefs.
Of your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evils.
No man bears more sorrow better. Portia is dead.
Huh? Portia?
He is dead.
How escaped I killing when I crossed you so? Oh, insupportable and touching loss. Upon what sickness?
Impatient of my absence and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony had made themselves so strong, but with her death that tidings came. With this she fell distract, and her attendants absent. Swallowed fire.
And I so.
Even so.
Oh, immortal gods.
Enter boy with wine and tapers.
Speak no more of her. Give me a bowl of wine. In this, I bury all unkindness, Cassius.
Drinks.
My heart is thirsty for that noble pledge. Fill, Lucius, to the wine one swell the cup. I cannot drink too much to Brutus' love.
Enter Titinius and Messala.
Come in, Titinius. Welcome, good Messala. Now sit we close about this taper here, and call in question our necessities.
Russia, art thou gone?
No more, I pray you. Masala, I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi.
Myself have letters of the self-same tenure,
With what addition?
that by proscription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators.
Therein our letters do not well agree. Mine speak of 70 senators that died by their prescriptions, Cicero being one.
Cicero won.
Cicero is dead, and by that order of prescription had you your letters from your wife, my lord?
No, Masala,
Nor nothing in your letters writ of her?
nothing, Masala.
That methinks is strange.
Why ask you? Hear you aught of her in yours?
No, my lord.
Now, as you are a Roman, tell me true.
Then like a Roman bear the truth I tell. For certain she is dead, and by strange manner.
Why, farewell, Portia. We must die, Masala. With meditating that she must die once, I have the patience to endure it now.
Even so great men, great losses should endure.
I have as much of this in art as you, but yet my nature could not bear it so.
Well, to our work alive. What do you think of marching to Philippi presently?
I do not think it's good.
Your reason?
This is it. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us. So shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offense, while we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness.
Good reasons must of force give place to better. The people twixt Philippi and this ground do stand but in a forced affection, for they have grudged us contribution. The enemy, marching along by them shall make a fuller number up, come on refreshed, new added, and encouraged, from which advantage shall we cut him off, if at Philippi we do face him there, these people at our back.
Hear me, good brother.
Under your pardon, you must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful, our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We at the height are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken up the flood leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves or lose our ventures.
Then with your will, go on. We'll along ourselves and meet them at Philippi.
The deep of night is crept upon our talk, and nature must obey necessity, which we will niggard with a little rest. There is no more to say.
No more. Good night. Early tomorrow we will rise and hence.
Enter Lucius.
Lucius, my gown. Farewell, good Masala. Good night, Tinius. Noble Cassius. Good night, and good repose.
Oh, dear brother, this was an ill beginning of a night. Never comes such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Enter Lucius with the gown.
Everything is well.
Good night, my lord.
Good night, good brother.
Good night, Lord Brutus.
Farewell, everyone.
Exeunt.
Good night, Lord Brutus.
Give me the gown. Where is thy instrument?
Here in the tent.
What? Thou speakest drowsily? Poor knave, I blame thee not, thou art o'erwatched. Call Claudio and some other of my men. I'll have them sleep on cushions in my tent.
Enter Varus and Claudio. Calls, my lord?
I pray you, sirs, lie in my tent and sleep. It may be I shall raise you by and by on business to my brother Cassius.
So please you, we will stand and watch your pleasure.
I will not have it so. Lie down, good sirs. It may be I shall otherwise bethink me. Ah, Look, Lucius, here's the book I sought for. I put it in the pocket of my gown.
I was sure your lordship did not give it me.
Bear with me, boy. I am much forgetful. Canst thou hold up thy heavy eyes a while, and touch thy instrument a strain or two?
Ay, my lord, and please you.
It does, my boy. I trouble thee too much, but thou art willing.
It is my duty, sir.
I should not urge thy duty past thy might. I know young bloods look for a time of rest.
I have slept, my lord, already.
It was well done, and thou shalt sleep again. I will not hold thee long. If I do live, I will be good to thee.
Music and a song.
This is a sleepy tune. O murderous slumber, layest thou thy leaden mace upon my boy that plays thee music? Gentle knave, good night. I will not do thee so much wrong to wake thee. If thou dost nod, thou breakest thy instrument. I'll take it from thee. And good boy, good night. Let me see. Let me see if not the leaf turned down where I left reading. Here it is, I think.
Enter the ghost of Caesar.
How ill this taper burned. Huh? Who comes here? I think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil that makest my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me what thou art.
Thy evil spirit, Brutus?
Why comest thou?
To tell thee, thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again.
Aye, at Philippi.
Why, I will see thee at Philippi then. Now I have taken heart, thou vanished. Ill spirit, I would hold more talk with thee. Boy! Lucius! Varus, Claudio, sirs, awake! Claudio!
You're muted, Lucius.
The strings, my lord, are false.
He thinks he is still at his instrument. Lucius, awake!
Oh, my lord.
Didst thou dream, Lucius, that thou so criest out?
My lord, I do not know that I did cry.
Yes, that thou didst. Didst thou see anything?
Nothing, my lord.
Sleep again, Lucius. Sarah, Claudio, fellow, thou, awake.
My lord.
My lord.
Why did you so cry out, sirs, in your sleep?
Did we,
Did
my
we,
lord?
my lord?
I saw you anything?
No, my lord, I saw nothing.
Nor I, my lord.
Go, and commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers betimes before, and we will follow.
It shall be
It
done, my
shall
lord.
be done, my lord.
Exeunt Actus Quintus enter Octavius, Antony, and their army.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said the enemy would not come down, but keep the hills and upper regions. It proves not so. Their battles are at hand. They mean to warn us at Philippi here. Answer before we do demand of them.
Yet I am in their bosoms. I know wherefore they do it. They could be content to visit other places, and come down with fearful bravery, thinking by this face to fasten in our thoughts that they have courage. But 'tis not so.
Enter a messenger. Prepare you, generals. The enemy comes on in gallant show. Their bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately.
Octavius, lead your battle softly on, upon the left hand of the even field.
Upon the right hand, I. Keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this exigent?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
March, drum, enter Brutus, Cassius, and their army.
They stand and would have parley.
Stand fast, Satinius. We must out and talk.
Mark Antony, shall we give sign of battle?
No, Caesar, we will answer on their charge. Make forth. The generals would have some words.
Stir not until the signal.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live, hail Caesar!"
Antony, the posture of your blows are yet unknown. But for your words, they rob the hive bees and leave them honeyless.
Not stingless, too?
Oh, yes, and soundless, too. For you have stolen their buzzing, Antony, and very wisely threat before you sting.
Villains! You did not so when your vile daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar. You showed your teeth like apes, and fawned like hounds, and bowed like bondmen, kissing Caesar's feet, whilst damned Casca, like a cur, behind, struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers!
Flatterers? Now, Brutus, thank yourself this tongue hath not offended so this day, if Cassius might have ruled.
Come, the cause. If arguing make us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that the sword goes up again? Never till Caesar 33 wounds be well avenged, or till another Caesar have added slaughter to the sword of traitors.
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' hands unless thou bringst them with thee.
So I hope. I was not born to die on Brutus' sword.
Oh, if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable.
Peevish schoolboy, worthless of such honor, joined with a masker and a reveler.
Old Cassius still.
Come, Antony, away. Defiance, traitors, hurl we in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
Exit Octavius, Antony, and army.
Why, now, follow wind, sweet bellow, and swim bark. The storm is up, and all is on the hazard.
Oh, Lucilius, hark, a word with you.
Lucilius
lord?
and Messala stand forth.
My lord?
Messala,
What says my general?
Messala, this is my birthday. At this very day was Cassius born. Give me thy hand, Messala. Be thou my witness, then against my will, as Pompey was, as I am compelled to set upon my battle all our liberties. You know that I held Epicurus strong, and his opinion now I change my mind, and partly credit things that do presage, coming from Sardes on our former ensign. 2 mighty eagles fell, and there they perched, gorging and feeding from our soldiers' hands. Who to Philippi here consorted us. This morning they fled away and gone, and in their steeds did ravens, crows, and kites fly over our heads, and downward look on us, and we were sickly prey. Their shadows seem a canopy most fatal, under which our army lies, ready to give up the ghost.
Believe not so.
I but believe it partly, for I am fresh of spirit and resolved to meet all perils very constantly.
Even so, Lucilius.
Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But since the affairs of men rest still uncertain, let's reason with the worst that may befall. If we do lose this battle, then is this the very last time we shall speak together? What are you then determined to do?
even by the rule of that philosophy by which I did blame Cato for the death which he did give himself. I know not how, but I do find it cowardly and vile, for fear of what might fall, so to prevent the time of life, arming myself with patience to stay the providence of some high powers that govern us below.
Then, if we lose this battle, you are contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, Cassio, no. Think not, thou noble Roman, that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind. But this same day must end that work the Ides of March begun. And whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore our everlasting farewell take. For ever and forever farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, why we shall smile. If not, why then this parting was well made.
Forever and forever. Farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, 'tis true, this parting was well made.
Why then lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere it come. But it sufficeth that the day will end. Then the end is known. Come ho! Away!
Exeunt. Alarum. Enter Brutus and Messala.
Ride, ride, Messala! Ride, and give these bills unto the legions on the other side.
Loud alarum.
Let them set on at once, for I perceive but cold demeanor in Octavio's wing, and sudden push gives him the overthrow. Ride, ride, Messala! Let them all come down!
Exeunt. Alarums. Enter Cassius and Titinius.
Look, Titinius, look at the villains fly! Myself after mine own turned enemy! This ensign here of mine was turning back. I slew the coward and did take it from him.
Oh, Cassius, Brutus gave the word too early, who having some advantage on Octavius took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil whilst we by Antony are all enclosed.
Enter Pindarus. Fly further off, my lord.
All right, no, I'm here. I was fly further off, my lord. Fly further off. Mark Antony is in your tents, my lord. Fly therefore, noble Cassius. Fly far off.
This hill is far enough. Look, look, Titinius. Are those my tents where I perceive the fire?
They are, my lord.
Titinius, if thou lovest me, mount thou my horse and hide thy spurs in him till he have brought thee up to yonder troops. And here again that I may rest assured whether yon troops are friend or enemy.
I will be here again, even with a thought.
Go, Pindarus, get higher on the hill. My sight was ever thick. Regard Titinius, and tell me that what thou hast not about the field. This day I breathe first, time has come round, and where I did begin, there shall I end. My life is run his compass. Sir, what news?
Oh, my lord.
What news?
Titanus is enclosed round about with horsemen that make to him on the spur, yet he spurs on. Now they are almost on him. Now Titanus, now some lights. Oh, he lights too. He's ta'en.
Shout.
And hark, they shout for joy.
Come down, behold no more. Ah, coward that I am to live so long to see my best friend taken before my face. Come, hither, Sarai. In Partha did I take thee prisoner, and then I swore thee, saving of thy life, that whatsoever I did bid thee do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come, now, keep thine oath. Now, be a free man. And with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Stand not to answer it. Here, take thou that hilt, when my face is covered, as 'tis now, by the sword Caesar. Thou art revenged, even with the sword that did kill thee.
So I am free, yet would not so have been, durst I have done my will. O Cassius, far from this country Pindarus shall run, where never Roman shall take note of him.
Enter Titinius and Messala.
It is but change, Titinius, for Octavius is overthrown by noble Brutus' power, as Cassius' legions are by Antony.
These tidings will well comfort Cassius.
Where did you leave him?
All disconsolate, with Pindarus his bondsman on this hill.
Is not that he that lies upon the ground?
He lies not like the living. Oh, my heart!
Is not that he?
No, this was he, Messala, but Cassius is no more. O setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost sink tonight, so in his red blood Cassius's day is set. The sun of Rome is set, our day is gone. Clouds, dews, and dangers come. Our deeds are done. Mistrust of my success hath done this deed.
Mistrust of good success have done this deed. Oh, hateful error, melancholy child, why dost thou show to the apt thoughts of men the things that are not? O error soon conceived, thou never comest into a happy birth, but kill'st the mother that engendered thee.
What, Pindarus? Where art thou, Pindarus?
Seek him, Titinius, whilst I go to meet the noble Brutus, thrusting this report into his ears. I may say thrusting it, for piercing steel and darts envenomed shall be as welcome to the ears of Brutus as tidings of this sight.
Hie you, Messala, and I will seek for Pindarus the while. Why didst thou send me forth, great Cassius? Did I not meet thy friends, and did not they put on my brows with the wreath of victory, and bid me give it thee? Didst thou not hear their shouts? Alas, thou hast misconstrued everything. But hold thee, take this garland on thy brow. Thy Brutus bid me give it thee, and I will do his bidding. Brutus, come apace and see how I regarded Caius Cassius. By your leave, gods, this is a Roman's part. Come, Cassius's sword, and bind Titinius' heart.
Dies. Alarum, enter Brutus, Messala, young Cato, Strato, Volumnius, and Lucilius.
Where Messala doth his body lie?
Lo yonder, and Titinius mourning it.
Titinius faces upward.
He is slain.
Oh, Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our swords in our own proper entrails.
Lo, alarums. Brave Titinius, look where ye have not crowned dead Cassius.
Are yet 2 Romans living such as these? The last of all the Romans fare thee well. It is impossible that ever Rome should breed thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. I shall find time. Come, therefore, and to Tharsis send his body. His funeral shall not be in our camp, lest it discomfort us. Lucilius, come, and come, young Cato. Let us to the field. Lavio and Flavio set our battles on. 'Tis 3 o'clock, and Romans, yet ere night, we shall try fortune in a second fight.
Exeunt, alarum. Enter Brutus, Messala, Cato, Lucilius, and Flavio.
Yet, countrymen, oh, yet hold up your heads.
What bastard doth not? Oh, who will go with me? I will proclaim my name about the field. I am the son of Marcus Cato, ho, a foe to tyrants and my country's friend. I am the son to Marcus Cato, ho. Enter soldiers and fight. And I am Brutus, Marcus Brutus, Brutus, my country's friend. Know me for Brutus.
O young and noble Cato, art thou down? Why now, thou diest, as bravely as Titinius, and mayst be honored being Cato's son.
Yield, or thou diest.
Only I yield to die. There's so much that thou wilt kill me straight. Kill Brutus and be honored in his death.
Sorry, this is me, right? This is the soldier or no?
Yep, that's you.
All right, Paul. We must not, a noble prisoner.
Room, ho, tell Antony Brutus is ta'en.
I'll tell thee news. Here comes the general. Brutus is ta'en. Brutus is ta'en, my lord.
Where is he?
Safe, Antony? Brutus is safe enough. I dare assure thee that no enemy shall ever take alive the noble Brutus. The gods defend him from so great a shame. When you do find him, or alive or dead, he will be found like Brutus, like himself.
This is not Brutus, friend. But I assure you, a prize no less in worth. Keep this man safe. Give him all kindness. I had rather have such men my friends than enemies. Go on and see where Brutus be, alive or dead, and bring us word unto Octavius's tent how everything is chanced.
Exeunt, enter Brutus, Dardanius, Cleito, Strato, and Volumnius.
Come, poor remains of friends. Rest on this rock.
Petilius showed the torchlight, but my lord, he came not back. He is or ta'en or slain.
Sit thee down, Clytus. Slaying is the word. It is a deed in fashion. Hawk thee, Clytus.
What, I, my lord? No, not for all the world.
Peace, then. No words.
I'll rather kill myself.
Hawk thee. Dardanius.
Shall I do such a deed?
Oh, Dardanius,
O Clytus,
what ill request did Brutus make to thee?
to kill him, Clytus. Look, he meditates.
Now is that noble vessel full of grief that it runs over even at his eyes.
Come hither. Good Volumnius, list a word.
What says my lord?
Why this, Volumnius? The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me 2 several times by night, at Sardis once, and this last night here in Philippi fields. I know my hour is come.
And not so, my lord.
Nay, I am sure it is, Volumnius. Thou seest the world, Volumnius, how it goes. Our enemies have beat us to the pit.
Low alarms.
It is more worthy to leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Good Volumnius, thou knowest that we 2 went to school together. Even for that, our old love, I prithee, hold thou my sword hilts, whilst I run on.
That's not the office of a friend, my lord.
Fly, fly, my lord, there is no tarrying here.
Farewell to you, and you, Volumnius. Strato, that has been all this while asleep. Farewell to thee too, Strato. Countrymen, my heart doth joy that yet in all my life I found no man but he was true to me. I shall have glory by this losing day more than Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon mine eyes. My bones would rest that have but labored to attain this hour.
Alarm! Fly, fly, fly!
Fly, fly, my lord, fly.
Hence I will follow. I prithee, Strato, stay thou by thy lord. Thou art a fellow of a good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword. Turn away thy face. Well, I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Strato?
Give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord.
Farewell, good Strato. Caesar, now be still. I kill thee with not half so good a will.
Dies. Alarum, retreat. Enter Antony, Octavius, Messala, Lucilius, and the army.
What man is that?
My master's man. Strato, where is thy master?
Free from the bondage you are in, Messala. The conquerors can but make a fire of him, for Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death.
So Brutus should be found. I thank thee, Brutus, that thou hast proved Lucilius saying true.
All that serve Brutus, I will entertain them. Fellows, wilt thou bestow thy time with me?
Aye, if Messala will prefer me to you.
Do so, good Messala.
How died my master Strato?
I held the sword, and he did run on it.
Octavius, then take him to follow thee that did the latest service to my master.
This was the noblest Roman of them all. He only, in a general honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away depart the glories of this happy day.
Exeunt omnes. Fini. Yay, well done, everyone. Thank you so much. So good. And it's like, yeah, everything's resolved. I'm sure there can't be any more issues now. I mean, with Antony giving that lovely sort of eulogy, and then Octavius is like, no, I've got to get the last word in here. So
Happy day, huh?
yeah. So yeah, we know this does get continued somewhat later on with Antony and Cleopatra, but it's very good. And I mean, I think it's like sort of interesting that of like the plays, the Shakespeare plays they teach in high school. I mean, basically the two most commonly ones I think are Romeo and Juliet and Julius Caesar. And they both have so much suicide in them. You know, I mean, really, I mean, like the end of this, they're all killing themselves. And I mean, Brutus, he may be such an honorable man, but can he make a right decision sometime?
Never.
I mean, every choice he makes, no, let's go down and meet them there. That'll work out well for us.
Yeah.
No, let Antony speak. It's fine. I've talked first. It'll be fine. I'm not going to bother and listen to him.
No one can follow me in a speech. Come on, Mark Antony. He's nothing. He can't speak. Come on.
You never knew a man but was true to him.
Yeah.
Could I ask, Brutus, were you reading the script or were you off book? I couldn't tell because you were looking on the camera.
Oh, thank you. No, I have the my Acrobat set up above the Zoom, so I'm kind of looking up towards the camera. So it's a little bit.
Oh, okay, that's a good technique. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very good when you can like read it, have it somewhere on your screen, so that you can do that. But it was great. Good job, everybody. Thank you so much.
Michael, I missed you so much. I haven't seen you in so long. It was great working with you.
Great. Always working with you too, Andrew. Thank you.
And I liked your background there, Michael.
Yes, I kept changing it. I wanted to keep changing the scenes. You say Titinius, I say Titinius. I used to always call him Titinius, and today I called him Titinius, and I never know which is the proper pronunciation.
It's both. I looked up; they're both correct. So I just let us off with Titinius because they're both technically correct. You could do either one.
I did either one today. I think I changed it.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, that's well, yeah.
I have to say, though, that both of you put such a wonderful intimacy into your readings, and it was very moving when either of you were speaking, and I just wanted to congratulate and thank you for that.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. Thank you.
I feel sorry for all these poor, awesome dudes because they all meet, they're all mistaken.
Yeah, and one of the things I was noticing was that I think Brutus and Cassius in the beginning of the play have no interest other than using each other. I don't think they have any real. They're brothers-in-law, and I think they're brothers in name only. And I think by the time we get to Act 4, I think we see they're the only people they have left, and they're the only real true friends that either has had. There's different ways to do that, but It was nice working with Michael because the two of us, I think, sort of moved in that direction that we were like, you know what, these guys really love each other.
They both have their own, do have their own agendas, though. I really believe that in defense of Brutus, even though he made a big boo-boo, that he really did mean well.
He does. He means well.
He really does. Yeah.
Does the wrong thing every time because he thinks he's not pragmatic at all. And his complete and utter lack of pragmatism is what drives him to fail over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It seems everybody else has the same sense of honor that he does.
Yeah.
I think I would just piggyback off a little bit of what everyone kind of said with Andrew and Michael. It was really like beautiful and exciting to watch you two work together. And what I will say is it's interesting to hear you, Andrew, say about the love and that you and Michael kind of demonstrated right now with your scenes, and Michael saying what he said, which is what did you say, Michael? I'm sorry. Right after that?
What line?
That you had your own agendas, right? That you guys
Right, they have the yeah.
Because what I saw in the when you guys started was exactly that Brutus was taking in what was Cassius that I think Michael was.
Yes, Cassius, yeah.
Was taking in what Cassius was saying, and at first was a little like, well, are you sure? What, you know what I mean? He didn't come off the bat just agreeing and just being like, we're gonna see this through. And it kind of gave me a sense of Cassius manipulating Brutus in a way without really knowing. And then when you got towards that section where you guys talk about, I think it's Cassius, where he's like, we're brothers, and you talk about let's never fight. I really saw like, oh, do these guys seem like they really have a bond. So in my head, I was like, clearly Andrew and Michael have worked before together. So I wanted to ask that too. Did you guys do this together before or no?
We haven't done this. We've worked together in other plays.
Okay, because you guys, I didn't know that wasn't understood, is what I'm trying to say. What you guys were giving, that journey you took, at least me on, and I was like, I don't know if this is planned. I don't know what's happening, but it's really translating, at least for me. That's what I got.
Thank you so much, Maciel. I really appreciate it. Maciel, is this your third or fourth show you've done with us? Because I've been just enjoying so much watching your progress with every single performance. You're doing great.
Thank you, because I'm trying every time. I'm so nervous with you guys. You guys are so
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. You're doing great.
Oh, God.
I remember in college, this guy, Jerry Rogers, I was so scared of Shakespeare. And he says, he tells you everything to do. Don't worry about it. He tells you everything. So I said, yeah, just got to, make sense of what he's saying, and then I'll tell you what to do.
I think what I like to watch a lot with when I hear you guys read, all of you, is what trips me up a lot with Shakespeare is the grammar, the punctuations and things like that. So that's what I watch. And sometimes I try to like go back and go over what you guys have done, because I see how you use certain things. So that's really what I'm here for too.
Paul, your simple directions at the beginning of the folio are like such great advice to an actor. Just do that. It's simple. Yeah. There were no directors in his day,
That's right. And many plays in a very short period of time. So you really have to sort of just figure it out and keep going with it. And that's a sense we get of when we're dealing with these plays just as a one-off. And
I think he probably treated it like Woody Allen, where like they only got their sides because it was expensive to have everything printed. So they only got to know what they were doing in rehearsal. And
And
they
they
only
also-
probably had their sides, right?
That's right. And they also, I think there was also a fear that they would get the script copied. So that's in some way
Right.
why also.
Yeah, and because they wouldn't print them out, they'd have a copyist who'd write out all of the scrolls for them, or perhaps the actors wrote out their own. Unfortunately, we don't have like the real details. We're all of this we've gotten from inferred things. But
Well, Woody Allen does that. I
Yeah,
had somebody
yeah,
on the one. What is this movie about? He says, I don't know. I only know my part.
I kind
Yeah,
of
well,
feel
so
like
that's why you got to come to the opening and see how it all gets put together.
like
but,
reading with you now. This is my third time in the most recent past. Like I am like I'm convinced that Shakespeare is like the king of line readings that are just like very subtle and like subliminal, and like the way that the little clues that he's given us, little, like, because there was, yeah, as you said, there is no director. Like it was just the company of men coming together, and the tops and tails of each scene and being on your cues, and I don't know, because we received our cast list yesterday. I didn't get to prepare as much with this as I have with Two Gentlemen or Lavinia, but yeah, so I was just reading it off the cuff for a lot of it. Like I did read it over with a glance over, but it was just like it's all there. And like he writes battles, like offstage battles like no other, and it's exciting, and the energy is just there in the text, and it just carries you, and it's just so alive. And that's why I love theater, and I love Shakespeare, and I love how his words have just lived so long and say so much, even over 400 years that we've been so graced to know them.
I love how intense what you just said made me think of how intense it got when we were waiting to hear that will. And I think that adds to his genius in and why I really am like, oh, I wanna learn this so bad, because what writer, like, who, I don't know a play, or I don't know a film or anything that could write something and have the audience, or at least me, anticipate that so much. We were talking about, are you going to read the will? And we said that for what seemed like 10, 15 minutes. And I was like, when is he going to break out this will? But you feel it. He writes it in a way. And then to find out there is no will, it's like, bro, what's going on? So
There is none.
it's right. It's those little things that I feel draw me to his writing as well. Like he does these things where, I don't know. Yeah, they captivate you. They hold you in.
And Bernard, that was beautifully delivered, by the way. That whole scene was just. My brother sent me a text in the middle of it saying that guy playing Anthony's awesome. Really well done.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry I didn't come in at. I didn't realize that Mark Anthony had so many
little bits in the beginning. Yes.
Yeah. So it was kind of.
Yeah.
That's new to me, but because in acting class you just attend to those big chunks. Anyway, it was fun to do. Wow. And on the Ides of March, we're right in sync with it, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm doing it right on
Yeah.
the Ides. And we will have a live one as well on March 30th at the Yorkville Ranch, which will be our first in-person one. We're going to have another in-person one on April 6th at the 53rd Street Library that I've got to figure out which one that will be. Next week, next Saturday, we're having a Zoom reading with Moliere Rendezvous of The Bungling Lover by Moliere in a new sort of translation adaptation by Google Translate and Angus Hepburn.
Oh yeah.
So
That's on Saturday?
yeah, that'll be next Saturday. And so that's it for the month. And now I got to figure out what we're going to be doing in April. But I do also want to mention that I was recognized, an Instant Shakespeare Company was recognized by New York Shakespeare, which does these sort of year-end sort of awards or recognitions of people, and so they recognized Instant Shakespeare and me for that. This is our 25th season. So,
And isn't it great that we have these Zooms on record so that, when we're long gone, somebody will pick them up in the future and say, what is this?
Yeah, well, they're all of these we have on YouTube. I mean, and it's in
Right.
the hundreds just on YouTube. What we have on YouTube, and we were doing a lot of live ones before that. So hopefully soon I can get us to an exact number so we can figure out which one we're at. But so
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for doing this
Yeah,
and
thank
keeping it
you.
alive.
Yeah.
thank you
Trying to
all.
get it on the Apollo space mission.